Good morning, and welcome to an overcast Winnipeg. Yeah, we did have a sunrise this morning, but it was different, as you're going to see, because I'm planning to run it at, I think, 200 times speed, so we can get through it. Anyway, where are we here? Okay, I did come back to the model table, and I put on something that I forgot. You'll see in the rollback. One of the viewers reminded me that maybe now is the time to put the propellers and the rudder on. I was thinking about that. I'm not too happy about the color that I've painted these propellers, though. Looking at them now, I used the sort of a bronze brass color. I think it was the tester's brass. They look nice, but the color to me just seems a little bit off. I think I'll stick one of them in place there and just see how does it look at arm's length. Now, okay, got the New York coffee mug out here. Well, earlier this morning I was sort of thinking about, if I was to point to New York and say to you, New York is, off in that direction, I'd be wrong. Actually, it's more off to where I'm looking right now. Our house is not straight to the world. Anyway, I did a little bit of a video clip here, and to explain. So maybe we'll get into that, and then we'll have our rollback, and we'll see how it is we got to where we are. Now, most people in the world will think of Winnipeg as being the center of the universe. So where is New York City in relation to Winnipeg? Well, here's New York over here. I've drawn a line from Winnipeg to New York, and where in New York? Well, it's right. The pin is right on the Empire State Building. I think of the Empire State Building as being the center of New York. I've been up the Empire State Building. Very interesting. Anyway, now where is the center of Winnipeg? Well, let's zoom in on it here. Oh my goodness, that's my neighborhood. My goodness, there's my house. And here's my little white car. Now, the model table in my house is right about where this roof vent is. Yeah, if I was to drop straight down under there, that would be the model table. And the windows that we look out are looking out this way. Now, as you can see, my house is not straight to the world. In fact, it's at a 45-degree angle. So when I'm sitting at the model table, in my mind, if someone says, "Where's New York?" I think, well, New York is south of Winnipeg, but really it's not. It's more, you might say, to the east, by quite a bit, actually. At least if you go by the way my house is. This is getting a little convoluted, isn't it? Anyway, I thought that's kind of interesting. And in case you're wondering, how far is it from Winnipeg to New York? Let's just back out here. Okay, it is 2,064.7 kilometers. Now, if you're an old North American like I am, we want to convert that to miles. Well, it's almost 1,300 miles. Okay, in a straight line. Interesting, it passes right over Toronto. Okay, now let's roll back. Okay, I realize it's getting kind of late here. Now be careful when you bend over here. Just want to make a little mark where I think that's supposed to go. That looks about right. Okay, and I've been making safety hoops. They're nothing special, they're just bent coat hanger wire. Let's see how close I got this. Either too big or too small. Tiny bit more. I want it to just more or less fall into place here. I don't have to fight with anything if I want to get it out. There we go. Okay, that will help to, for our little radar antenna thingies there. Now these things, they only help, okay? All right, now, a few minutes ago, well actually it's about an hour ago now, I was checking my comments, and I got at least two comments reminding me about the boom that has to go from this mast over top of the little boats. If you remember, I tried it out there a couple of weeks ago and concluded that I was going to wait until after when I was doing the rigging, and because I might find that it looks better sort of semi-suspended from rigging coming down from the pulleys here. So I knew about that. But what one of the viewers also added, he said, and something to the effect of, and the two guns in the gun tub. And I thought, well, I put them in. And then I thought, well, wait a minute, I better check. So it turns out I did miss a couple of guns. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'll do it off camera. It's very similar to, what I've done in other places here with the same kind of guns. Anyway, thanks to that viewer. I think he calls himself Silent Runner or something. Okay, let's move on here this evening. Now, this will only help. It's not a guarantee. Doesn't mean I can all of a sudden start being careless. Okay, this is the boom that people are reminding me to put on. And it's supposed to go something like that. However, it would not in real life be resting on the flange there for the funnel. There would be some sort of a bracket that this thing would have come down and rested on. I suppose I could have made something up out of sprue, but it's funny the Trumpeter did not provide that, unless they did and I missed it. I mean, after all, I missed the two little guns on the back here. But my thinking is that it would probably look better if I suspended it slightly like this, and had a line going up from hooked on here somehow, and then going up at an angle to the to the pulleys there. Can you see those pulleys? Just barely. You can see the bottom one. There's three of them. There's this one, there's another one, and then another one. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to worry about it a little later. And if I can get it off now. There we go. All right. Now that I've scratched everything to death here, we'll wait until we do the rigging. Okay, we have made a little bit of progress here this evening. Not as much as I had planned, but a little bit. Better than nothing. So, We'll be seeing you in the morning. Well, it is morning. And I can see that if I'm going to want to try and get our propellers, or as they're called in some circles, the screws, in place here, I'm going to have to raise the hull up. And in order to raise up the hull, we got to take our hoops off because the aerials and so on are going to catch. Unless I was to only maybe lift it up, half an inch or so, but to make it convenient, I think the best thing to do is take the hoops off, take this piece of superstructure off because it's not glued on yet, and then I'll be able to much more easily handle the hull, and I don't need to worry about damaging anything. So I'll be back in a few minutes here. Okay, time is marching on here. And the idea of putting these elastic bands on the board here, this is the board that I used to have this mounted on with, and it had blue tack on the ends, but I don't want to mess around with that. I think if I'm very careful here when I'm handling this, and the rubber bands are going to want to help to keep this from sliding off as I'm... Anyway, now let's try and pick this up in such a way that we are not going to damage those little guns on the end. I caught my finger somehow on it, so I gotta watch what all my fingers are doing here. Okay, now let's put this in a nice safe place. All right. Now, okay, I'm leaving this in, by the way. I think I read a comment that made me think that somebody thought I was supposed to remove this, but maybe I misunderstood the comment. But I'm leaving this in because it actually helps to strengthen the deck, keep it level. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but when I put the superstructure on before, or had it on before, it fit almost, well, I would say perfectly. Now, yeah, I'm going to just find something to put underneath this thing now, and we'll lift it up a little bit. I don't know if I dare turn it on its side or not. You know, there's things that'll break off here. Well, if I just turn it on its side, you know, it's not like there's any ladders or anything going down the sides yet. I'll think of something. Okay, I have just vacuumed off my green cloth here, and I just wanted to make sure there was no sharp little pieces of sprue or anything. This is actually very, very soft. It's sort of if you want to know what this feels like, it feels like the same kind of material that would be on a pool table, okay, a billiard table. So, very, very carefully here now. I'm going to go straight up. All right, now I would think, let me just check, there's nothing on the other side there. No, nothing hanging down that I forgot about. Now I should be able to just lay it on its side here. And if I don't move it around and stuff, it should be all right. All right, now we can get our rudder glued in place. I thought, hey, there's 4 propellers, but no, this is all the same one. This is what I've come up with so far for our design for the USS Iowa coffee mug. And I'm wondering if possibly it might look better if I was to have a black border going around the outside of the graphic. I don't know. What do you think? Or any other changes? Anybody got a problem with this one? Now, I had forgotten about all these little white specks that are on the hull. I was trying to remember, how did I get those on there? I remember it had something to do with the airbrush. And then I remembered that it was when I did the clear coat, there was little chunks of clear coat or whatever, and it was spitting them out. And then I later found out that is a problem you can get with clear coat after it ages for a while. Anyway, they're on there, and what I'm doing is I'm just calling them barnacles. Yeah, white barnacles. All right. Now, because I don't want to get my greasy fingers on the rudder, which I believe I also clear coated, but I've got to kind of squeeze it here to pull this this needle out that I was using as a. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this off camera. Okay, we got it. Now, I'll move in a little bit. Now, if I recall, this was a fairly snug fit here, but it did fit. Well, at least it fit before I painted it. There we go. Okay, you know what? I don't think we need any glue on that. Okay, is it all the way forward as far as it should come here? That is a quite a tight fit. So I'm not gonna paint it. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. I mean, glue it, because the glue will, run into the hull red, and then I'm gonna have to retouch that up. So all right, let's see what's gonna happen here now. Hey, that's not right. Okay, I'm gonna have to find the other shafts. I guess I must have used these shafts for. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, this should go all the way through. There's got to be other shafts somewhere. All right, I'll go look for them. Now, I was getting kind of worried there because I couldn't find them at first. Okay, now it seems to me we just use blue tack to take up the slack here. I'm remembering now that we had to make some modifications here, and this is not. Okay, is it because I don't have this on all the way? I'm pretty sure this fit before. Okay, I'm going to have to push pause here and see what the problem is. Let's try the one underneath and see if it's got the same issue. It could be the blue tack is in there, and it's impacted the cavity. So I might have to clean that out. Let's just try this one. No use making my life difficult if I don't have to. Yeah, this one here is going to have to be cleaned out too. So I'm just going to do that off camera. Okay, I've got it now so that the props will go all the way back up as far as they're supposed to go. And but I was noticing when I had the shafts in there that they just didn't look natural, and if I don't paint them, I want to just take the shine off of it here. So I've got some 1000 grit sandpaper. Now that's still shiny, but it's a dull shine. It doesn't look like chrome. Okay, what has happened here now is I used a little bit of CA thin to try and glue this shaft into this part right here so it wouldn't come out. And I accidentally touched the applicator on here. Story of my life, right? So I'm just going to take a little bit of not deck 10, but the hull red, and I'm just going to repaint this whole thing very carefully here. Being is that it had been done with the airbrush, so it's going to look different. Now, I don't think I need to do the other side, although maybe I do. Maybe it ran underneath there. Maybe I should check that. I just very carefully here. I don't want to get it on the shaft. Now, when this dries, it should be it should blend in pretty good. I will check the other side. Okay, the props are on, and if I'm careful, they're going to stay just like that. And what I did was I took some extra thin here, and I glued the propeller, you might say, to this bearing here. I know the extra thin will not stick to the steel, at least not very much, and but the plastic on the propeller will stick to the plastic on this bearing. So that's what it is. They don't have to turn. So, well, they're not going to turn. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this part is not coming off anymore. I just finished gluing it down. I used the Tamiya regular cement, not the quick setting. What I did was, you remember that flange that was coming up all the way around? It was the same shape as the base of this. Well, I just went around basically on the top of it and a little bit on the sides, you might say, and then I set it in place, and it's like I say, it's not coming off. All right, yeah, we got the rudders on, the propellers on. As far as I know, unless I've missed something here. Now, I know there is stuff that we're going to be putting on later, you know, like the flag staffs, and probably this thing here. I'm not sure if I'm going to have it standing up or not. I'll know when it goes in the case, we'll know what happens. Anyway, we're done 43, as near as I can tell. If I've missed anything important that has to be done right now, I am sure that somebody's going to let me know. Alright, step 44 is a little bit more involved. There's a lot of stuff here. There's some photo etch that has to be done. Well, it looks like just one ladder. That's not bad. The rest is all plastic parts. We've got another boat here, and a little boat stand. Got to worry about that. Okay, now these things here, I think we stuck those on already, didn't we? Yeah, they're in the back here. Yeah, we put those on already. Way back, about 3 months ago. Okay, yeah. You know what? I am going to wrap today's episode up. There are other things that I have to do yet this afternoon, but I might go back at it this evening. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.